Hello and welcome to Jarviskjir Rock of the North, the Saturday game of our Jarviskjir D&D 5e show series. There's a whole lot of homebrew, a whole lot of original writing and ties to multiple campaigns here, multiple on YouTube, art projects, game projects. Oh, it's a whole lot of laughs. The biggest crossover event in history. I don't know. It's session 11. Which it is quite a ways. You are still on your side quest and have been for like almost more sessions than the main quest at this point.
3 sessions now.
We're just following all the side quests before we get to the main quest.
Yeah, pretty much. Which, you know, I fully encourage because this side quest is fun. You are traveling from, well, you've already traveled from the Northman settlement of Lendr, kind of the biggest, real only city that culture has, all the way up through Ovenfur. You're heading towards the halfling town of Winterbuck, which you should be reaching any time soon.
I'm just gonna let you know, by the way, sorry to butt in, but
No,
if
fine.
we get there and they don't give us enough stuff to fill the cart, I'm buying enough stuff to fill the cart. We brought this cart.
You wanna justify the fact that you got a cart when you didn't need one?
We're filling up the cart and we're bringing back a full cart of stuff.
It's
Several
just
is
like
gonna
the
look
guy
at-
who buys a big truck and is like now getting stuff to put in the truck.
Yeah,
Listen, I live in Kentucky. That's too real.
yeah.
No, Sabro's just gonna look at Snow and be like, we didn't need that cart.
No, we're gonna find out.
You
And
could have
if
left it, you wouldn't have lost your javelin.
uh,
Giant octopus would have never happened.
it was good. It was good sashimi. I don't know what it would be if it's octopus.
Could you imagine missing all those opportunities for glory though?
Can you use
Yes.
Sabro
octopus?
doesn't need glory for fighting a giant octopus that nobody knew about.
What doesn't kill us only makes us stronger.
That is true. It wasn't like there was a bounty being like, oh, there's an octopus terrorizing the dock. Nah, that octopus was just chilling. Just chilling down there at the bottom of the water.
It was just hungry.
We went
was
into
just-
his home.
Right?
Yes, you are the bad guys.
No, he grabbed my foot. You didn't have to grab my foot, okay?
He's an octopus, it's what they do.
I was drowned twice.
Your own damn fault.
That was a really
I
fun encounter.
I did dive back down. Okay, yeah.
So last session, you had an encounter with a large remnant of the Hobgoblin Warcald who occupied this country for about 5 years, and there's still remnants all around. Snow actually has some dealings with them, and was especially wary of the book of fire magic that their wizard had, which you squirreled away. And you have now moved on forward in trying to find shelter for the night. You encountered a group of gnomish automatons, clockwork men, that were trying to essentially arrest you, and you did manage to convince the leader of them, a automaton named Goldie, that you are not a threat, but Goldie will be traveling with you because Vincent owes an 800 gold fine to the
right.
establishment.
Bitch better have his money.
Yeah, you did a whole, convincing of like you're on a quest of justice and glory, and that seemed to speak to Goldie. And that's pretty much actually where we left off. You, it was kind of like near the end of a day in this cave. You were resting here because it was a bit more out of the way, a shortcut through the blizzard, which is howling outside right now. The blizzard is wind sound effect. The blizzard is howling outside right now, which is why you came in here and ended up dealing with the automaton. I imagine you want to do a long rest in here in the cave and then set out early in the morning. Make the last little trek to Winterbuck.
That's
Yeah.
the hope. Yes.
Okay. Anything any of you want to do during a long rest?
Just heard the wind and I looked outside like, because we're supposed to get a snowstorm, so I'm like,
Yeah.
has it already begun?
Immersion. You can say no if there's nothing you want to do
Yeah.
during a long rest. It
I
is
think
loud.
the only thing Peep would do is what they've been doing the last couple of times. Where like when they're resting, they're gonna get that little rock and put it next to the fire. So back up.
The snow's been too heavy for any sustainable hunting. You have been gathering, nuts and things when you can, but do tick down a ration pack each.
Okay.
For the day, essentially, that you've just spent.
I bought a bunch of rations last time we were in town.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you're fine. I just know your plan was to kind of like hunt while you were moving. It's not really been possible.
Yeah.
Sabra would like to make a phone call.
Okay, with sending or with
I am sending now.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. What would you like to do, and how? Assuming you have
Sorry, I
sending
got
spell
excited.
slots.
I have been waiting for this. Yes. He wants to tell. He's got his Cal. He's gonna call Cal, right? Because he wants to tell him that he met a dragon, and that they have to come back and talk to the dragon. Hold on, I gotta count words. I forgot
Yes. I remember
25.
once you start, any accidental swear words that come out, they're canon.
Oh no.
So
Is that how you do it? You have to like speak it, and I love that, but also that terrifies me.
catches people out all the time. That's half the point.
I did not know that's how you did it. That's awesome. You
No,
I'm
I know.
gonna
That's
take
why
that
I'm
and
sitting
I'm
here
gonna
in my
use that now.
dyslexic ass. Okay.
It's like, oh, that was the first few words. No, just kidding.
Okay, hold on. Da-da. Dragon. It's one word.
Dragon is one word, yes.
Depends on the language, but yes.
Big lizard there.
I lost count already. Alright, let's just go. Okay. We'll run out of words if we run out of words. Okay, so Sabra's gonna call him husband and just A, check on him and make sure he's alive, and B, well, he knows he's alive. So yeah, he's calling him husband. Hey Cal. Well, he wouldn't say hey, but whatever. He's already said it. So hey Cal. Shit.
Two
Yeah,
words.
Shit, no, shit is canon.
Meet me in the dreamscape tonight if you can. I met a dragon and we have to go back and meet her with gifts
I think-
because
Do you have two more words. One more.
Because I
Promised.
I was gonna say forgot, but he wasn't intending on meeting the dragon, so we can't forget if he didn't know.
I was trying to think as I was counting. I was like, "Is dreamscape one word or two?" It's one, yeah.
It's definitely one.
Dreamscape, and then because Dreamscape threw me, then I started wondering if tonight was 2 words or 1 word, and it threw my whole count off.
And that's
why
in
I
Jarviskjir,
like-
it's been 2 before
No,
for a similar thing.
This is why
so-
I like typing in Japanese on Twitter, because you only got
Yeah.
140 characters, but you could fit so much more in one tweet than you
That
can
makes
in English.
sense.
Unfortunately, well, I mean, you are speaking Elvish, but you're not speaking like
Celestial,
Gnomish
no.
or something. When you cast sending, it is a instant transference of the message you've already mentioned to me before, that you kind of want to almost feel like a warm kind of brush through the air. No, I'm here for you. One of the things that sending does in Jarviskjir, which I don't even think is in the actual spell in usual, is you can feel if it's connected or not. You get the text received thing. So you can feel that kind of momentary telepathic connection to your husband, Calravale, deep beneath the earth, who will respond saying, I see that you are once again feeling confident in magical abilities. I am so proud, my love. Tell me more of this friendly dragon.
Got large
One word sent
Huge
back.
tracts of
Think.
land.
Yeah, well, Calravale doesn't know if the dragon is or isn't thick. So
All 25 words, it's just thick repeated 25
all
times.
sorts of seeds. Wife.
Thick,
Thick, bootylicious.
My anaconda wants some.
I guess I'll cast sending again.
you could just talk to him at night.
Yeah,
you
we'll
go to
just
sleep.
do that. We'll just do that. We don't have to do that.
I was gonna say, is there anything very specific you want to talk to Calravale about when you're in your shared meditation? Or
Just the dragon and the
yeah.
plans that they're gonna have to make for that, and the current timeline of returning home to deal with the problem TM and the Ballord problem TM. So
yeah, we don't necessarily need to roleplay it, but Cal is curious when exactly you plan on returning, because you already know it's probably before he does, because based on what your events connected to the homeland are, he might end up returning earlier. Is it your plan to deal with all of this? Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to intend on coming back as soon as they're done getting this food.
Okay. That's all
That is his
he needed to
intention.
know.
So, 3 weeks? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
He wants his horse back.
For the rest of you, it is a relatively comfortable rest compared to the last few within this cave. First few letters were right. I had like an autocorrect typo IRL
We
there.
had an Ori moment.
Ori moment,
Just call it
TM.
that, yeah.
Which means you can start the next day fresh-faced and ready. You know, warming up some breakfast around the fire and getting ready to head out. The winds and blizzard are not as intense tomorrow, but they're still going to be present.
I just realized something real quick. Could I like the day before I had heard the discussion between Vincent and Goldie about the fine. That was all like in the common or like the
Yeah, it was in
tongue that
common.
we all speak
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. In the morning, Snow is gonna go up to Goldie and be like, I don't know what he would call him besides Goldie. He'd be like, Metal Man.
Goldie, who has basically been sitting like, so I described that the police, like, they kind of sit like B1 battle droids, and they still are, but Goldie is not. Goldie is kind of leaning against the wall in a very almost human way, kind of like a shop mannequin. And it will just be like you kind of hear the clicking of gas in their head, and they will just turn their head towards you.
In our misunderstanding yesterday, one of your companions snapped a spear that had been given to me Can this count off of my friend's fine?
Give me a persuasion check.
Sir, you broke the spear I stabbed you with.
You broke my staff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mentioning the fact that I did like throw it into one of them, and then okay, here, let me see. Persuasion.
I would like to ask if I can help, but Sabriel's probably not listening to a damn thing that he's saying.
Your comment will be taken under advisement.
It was a very special spear to me, given as a gift some time before.
In the before times.
Literally, sometime was like an hour before.
In the land before time.
I know not of this land before time. Elaborate.
It was a sentimental gift is the important part. Its value in terms of what a normal spear is valued at. It's more valuable than an average spear to me. Sentimental value.
I do not protect sentimental values. I protect material values.
Okay. He's like, did the I don't think Snow would understand the idea of programming, but he would be like, were you have no sense of sentiment?
No.
Oh. If your masters had told you to protect sentimental value, would you have?
Allow me to elaborate for you. I am not a mortal being. I operate off of data disks and clockwork gears.
What is a data disk?
If I showed you, my prime functioning would cease to operate.
Oh.
I cannot do anything to assist you in your nature as a dullard.
Can I file a complaint?
Yes.
Sabriel's cackling under his breath to himself.
And so he would give up on the idea of trying to barter barter Vincent's fine down, at least by a significant amount. He'll hope that maybe it'll go down a little bit.
It's being taken under advisement.
Yeah, that's true.
Better than nothing. Okay. Anything else you want to do before setting off?
Vincent just spends the morning doing his routine of prayer, working out, that kind of thing, and then he runs outside to test his new ability. Reaching back to where he remembers leaving Pearl from the city before, feeling her presence around him now, he starts to think on that and then send a sort of echo beacon out to her. And majestically she appears before him after about 10 minutes of prayer and walking around drawing circles in the snow with his feet. She shows up in that circle, a little bit better off looking, a little bit more pristine and preened, and more of a horse better served for war than farming.
I like to think that there was someone like brushing her at the time, and then she just disappeared.
Goku instant transmission noise from DBZ Bridge.
It's good to have you back, old girl. And he just kind of starts stroking the side of her mane there.
Hell yeah.
When we start getting ready to go, Snow's going to be like, another horse. That means we can carry more on our cart.
Yes.
Sabriel's just sitting talking to his ghosts as he does every morning.
This group is full of like psychos, right? Because
I feel like
he's
he might be
like
the
holding on
most
to this like
normal one.
rock. Sabriel's
yeah.
like talking to ghosts. And I was like, oh yeah, just a horse appears out of thin air and immediately like, that can pull a car. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Poetry's a practical person.
Sabriel's got a date with a dragon.
Alright. Eventually you get back on the road. The area you're traveling through, as the snow turns to more of a kind of ever-present rain today, which is almost worse in some ways. It's easier to trudge through, at the very least. The part of the route you're traveling through is nearly entirely forests. The road doesn't snake through, it cuts through quite cleanly. Like the forest I mentioned before, they are just caked in snow, these evergreen trees heavily weighed down. The bark shows signs of occasionally battles in the area, arrows, bolts just lodged within them. Some of the bark has religious symbols carved in by the Northman, very often the symbol of Eirik the unicorn or Oilin the squirrel. And occasionally, there's a more sinister symbol of a kraken, representing their god of death. All carved on large trees, or sometimes into the very rock faces of the area you're traveling through. It's relatively calm, although most of you would be aware that forests like this would have all kinds of creatures within them. This time of year, it's the only things hunting are really hunting, and aren't currently looking for a group of travelers like you, at least. Although I think Sabriel the military-minded might be like keeping an eye on the tree cover, because it'd be an excellent place for like a goblin ambush.
Yep.
Nothing like that ever seems to happen, although you do see points where clearly there was an ambush of creatures at some point. And if you want to actually spend some time to investigate those points further, you may, or you can just continue.
If they look older and not too recent, he's not gonna worry about it
Relatively old, yeah.
Yeah.
Always something you can come back to if it ends up being relevant. You trudge through this area. The rain kind of bearing down on you. It's starting to become flurries of snow again. I am actually going to ask for Constitution saving throws from all of you for the cold. Which is actually even more. Your cloak has been considered. This is why it's the first one you've done this entire travel through a winter environment.
I believe I have advantage by so.
You have advantage on cold weather checks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Still gotta make the roll though. Let's see.
Hey, my little hot rock's keeping me warm.
Little hot rock.
Nice. Well, I'm glad I had advantage.
There we go, Sabriel.
You're all
Almost a
fine.
nat 20.
It's, you've been prepared. You've been, keeping an eye on everything. It's a bit of a trudge, but you also have, another horse. You go a little faster now that there's not snow bearing down on you all the time. And eventually, a little past noon, you rise over a hill and you see a snowy field of hills, and then beyond it, the sea. Dark, sea like dark wine, as they say, with the occasional straight up iceberg floating and frozen rocks far afield. And then when you look again, you see little smoke trails lifting out of the area ahead, where what could be mistaken for hills are clearly halfling buildings, caked in earth and snow, as you approach the town of Winterbuck. It's unassuming. There's no wall or anything like that. There's just snow-coated buildings that become more obvious the closer you get. You even recognize that some of the areas you're starting to pass by are actually farms, mostly with things like goats and chickens and sheep in them right now. As you're heading up close, the first of these halflings you will see is sitting on a rock by the road with a lute. They're not like they're facing the road, but they're not paying too much attention. Enough attention to know that you're around. They appear to be a young male. They have dark hair and dark kind of curly-ish hair and a bit of a beard, but the beard never like reaches the face. It's like all the way around, but never anywhere on the face. And they're just kind of like fiddling away with their lute happily. They actually are barefoot, and their feet are kind of like just a bit above the snow, back and forth because it's just chilling.
Hello.
Oh,
Your Highness.
What?
you must be mistaken. I'm no king or lord. Just, watching sheep.
Is this Winterbuck? Are we in the right place?
Aye, yes, Winterbuck is before you, distant travellers. Are you the ones that came for the foods?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we have been sent to collect the foods, and Snow had motioned to the cart.
He so wants that card to be relevant.
It's his whole identity now.
I appreciate the commitment to the bit.
Lovely.
Just halflings looking at Peep, who's just like sitting in sacrifice.
Yeah, does actually I was gonna ask, do Snow or Peep, like Snow would be wondering if he's gonna get any weird looks, but he's also gonna be looking to see if Peep gets any weird looks, because
Not so much from this guy right now, at least, who will heave himself off the rock into the snow and put the loot on their back and like swoosh it around. It's on the strap. And well, I suppose I'll help guide you and your magnificent wagon into the town, and I think everything shall get sorted.
thank you. What is your name?
My name's Bessany.
I was gonna. Would Snow know? He was about to call him Little Man, but then would he know if that would be offensive or not?
I don't know. That's up to you.
I mean, can I roll like a wisdom check or something to see if Snow would know?
Insight.
Okay.
Snow about to get a dagger to the knee.
Yeah, he's about to insult this entire civilization.
Should be fine. Should be fine.
He would say little man.
Like he's like starting to step forward. He does kind of like look back at Snow and like look back at like the rest of them, and he's just like,
This steps in and says, "No offense intended. To him, we're all little man."
He's not. He's not a stretched out ogre now, is he?
No, he's. What are you?
I don't really know. No. So I'd say I have a heritage of giants in my past.
Bessamy will just start keep leading at this point. Just
I apologized if I
through the snow.
if I have said something. And then he's about to say little man again, but he stops himself. Oh no.
You can travel down the hill into Winterbuck proper, where you can see further into the houses where there are, doorways and windows on the edge of these little hills, cleared of the snow, little trinkets, little symbols. You pass a mill building where there is a pair of ponies wearing knitted kind of coveralls, trailing around or nibbling, and you can already kind of tell how big the food stores are, like through the windows, big pumpkins and things clearly visible. There is not much in the way of core locations in a halfling village like this. The main area in the nearly direct middle of the town would be the it's kind of like a town hall, but it's kind of like a slightly buried structure where it very much does look like a hill, other than kind of the doorways and it's kind of like a meeting hall, but on top of it is a statue of a halfling woman with a sword and a shield, naked, and there's no snow on that statue. The snow just melts off. The winter halflings are all around you. They don't seem incredibly scared by your presence or anything like that, but there's often, there's many questions like, oh, you went for the food, like that kind of, these conversations start and people are kind of be like, oh, you're gonna have to open the stores, get the stores, they got a wagon, and like that sort of thing as the halflings sort of get ready. The winter halflings are a small, round people. They are cluttered, they've got like fur parkas, very often knitted garb as well, with pink noses and fairly fair skin usually. They will, as all sort of this is happening, one of their leaders, who would be I guess introduce you as like the mayor. She would approach. She's an older halfling. She's got grey hair with kind of the sides slightly shaved, but it's kind of regrown as well. And she's wearing, a padded gambeson, as well as all the other kind of warm gear. And she would kind of do a like a wide-armed gesture. Like, you have probably come quite a way. Winterbuck offers you a very warm welcome, and if you are in need of warm food and stiff drinks, then we will absolutely offer it before you feel the need to leave again. It's our honor to help our more in-need people in the world.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Ah, blimey.
Hello.
Was there a...
Being to the side.
I have a second head, and it happens to be a lizard. I'm sorry.
Was there like a tinge of hostility in that statement?
You give me an insight roll. There is definitely something about the mayor here. She's definitely got a bug on her back about something. As is often the case of someone of her age, she's probably around 60 or so. Quite fit and has no issue getting around or anything. But there's definitely she's not like mad at you or anything, but there's something. She's got some kind of hang up. But
Vincent will dismount and take a knee before her and say, my lady, I am Sir Vincent Ananias. Is there something bothering you? Something ailing, maybe?
Oh, well, when you get to my age, you always have an ailment. Aching back, sore ankles, all of these sorts of things. There are some things that leave you as you grow to a certain age, and I'm sure... She kind of looks and, her eyes linger on the elf for a bit. You'll experience as time goes on.
I'm gifted in the art of healing. I can't promise it'll hold forever.
You have healing hands!
I do.
Oh, well, you can give it a go.
Snow is like looking around awkwardly this whole time. He doesn't know what to do.
I will. Just go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, as Snow is looking around awkwardly, a baby halfling will tug on your pants and will like offer, like clearly want to show you somewhere, as kids do.
Sure, I'll go with the kid.
Yeah.
While Vincent is healing.
Sorry, did I wake you?
So yeah, I will wave my hand in front of my shield and kind of pull energy from it, and then reach out and use 5 points of my lay on hands to cure her of any ailments, physical.
She
disease or anything like that.
closes her eyes and she hums. You serve the gods.
To the best of my ability.
When I were a little younger and my hair a little less grey, I did much the same.
It is a pleasure then, truly.
She nods a bit. It'll take us time to fill your wagon. And there is no sense in you sending back before you have a taster of all of this food and bounty. We have plenty to spare this year.
We look forward to breaking bread with you.
Well, as we get the meals ready, feel free to... You are welcome to do as you wish in Winterbuck. Whatever
one
takes your
question.
fancy.
Do you have any engineers in this village? Anyone that might be skilled enough to take a look at this, and I'll point towards the broken piece of machinery that we've brought with us.
Very interesting. You have a walking man. We have a few who can smelt and shape iron when necessary. Not anyone who can deal with that kind of precision. Gnomes of the lighthouse, maybe. There's a road around the coast.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have a bit of time before they kind of share with you a meal. If you are kind of hanging out by the wagon, they are starting to fill it with stuff. We'll go into more detail with that stuff in a bit. They will show you places to feed the horses and stuff.
I'll spend time helping them load the wagon and kind of just getting to know them, all the guys that are loading the wagon during that time.
You have no issue talking to them, of course, because as you may know, the common language is the Halfling language. Has remained pretty much unchanged throughout all history, because Halflings are everywhere, so it kind of became the uniting language, because everyone was talking to Halflings. The wagon is getting full. There are all of these largely vegetables that grow like they're fresh. They're freshly grown. You can even see some of the farms. They're growing despite the harsh winter. It's not so much now that it's all snow covered, but there's, large bags of potatoes. Tomatoes are a big one. You've got, all sorts of other things. Carrots, yams, eggplants, courgettes, pumpkins, as I mentioned, radishes. There's a little bit of everything just sort of filling this wagon, as well as seed bags that are labeled. It's one of those things as well, because you're like kind of the wagon's in the middle of like one of the streets, and halflings are just coming out of pantries underground and cellars and just adding more and more things to this wagon, and it it's almost like, how much more do they have? And they just keep having more to give. And with no real complaint or ask of payment either.
Can I relegate them to put something on my horse rather than the cart?
If you want. The horse is a bit higher up.
Just in case we lose the cart.
Oh yeah, sure.
Sabriel wants to put
like some bags of seed or something. Yeah.
On his horse.
Mm-hmm.
In the saddlebags. That way, because the guy did say the more important part is just the seeds.
Yeah, so they have more of the bounty to share of like regular food, but they will have to bring out some little steps and then fill the side bangs with seeds and kind of mount them so there's one on either side, so it's
lock them so the horse can't like flip them open and start eating them, because Ori knows horses, it'll do it. He's like, oh, there's food in here. Oh shit.
So where is this kid taking me? Is it just like
like nowhere, like
Okay.
just like around
To an
and like
alleyway
pointing
to shank him.
and like points like at things and it's like, my house has a roof. Like,
okay, I thought it was gonna be like some oracle child. He's gonna lead me to a spot of like an attack on the village and be like, here's where the goblins came or some shit. So I was ready for it.
Skyrim.
I was thinking the
Play
opposite.
too
It's
much
like
Skyrim.
it's like a kid that's like 1 or 2, where it's like, oh, where are we going? Okay, yeah, no, you convinced me.
it's that meme, but they're just a little older.
What do
and
you
they're like
have?
they are
A
just they're just like a parka with mittens, basically. Just
Yeah.
waddling around.
Snow would humor them. He'd be like, oh, a roof. Yes, I've seen those before.
Does your house have a roof?
Uh,
Oh no.
does it?
I don't have a
I
house.
don't know. I don't know if snow. Like, where does snow normally live? In like a tree or something?
It's up to you. Snow might not have a house.
I don't know. What do the people, the Planavar live in?
They have kind of like they like have the tree canopies and stuff.
Okay.
They kind of like not quite tents.
Trees are my roof.
So you'd be like, I have something like a roof.
You don't have a house.
The trees house my people.
Your parents must not love you very much. And then he just keeps walking.
So yeah, the kid keeps walking. So stops and he's like, "I'm adopted." Oh jeez, but no, he'll humor the kid.
Yeah. Anything else any of you all want to kind of do? This loading of the wagon will take the better part of the afternoon, and then it's like you might as well stay here for the evening and have a meal with them. There's not really. There's an eating hall, so there's that kind of like, I guess holy hall. There's a word for it that I forgot the name of, but like this kind of town hall center area. But there is a separate like eating hall in a very kind of Northman way, actually, kind of off to the side, and also very dwarven way. There's something slightly dwarven about these halflings, just a little bit that might be comforting to those of you who know and are a bit more friendly to dwarves. That you can tell that little eating hall by the water is getting kind of readied up, and it's got like a bit of a stone balcony that overlooks the water and is quite scenic and all of that. You can already see the kind of amber glow coming out of the windows of the building and like cascading across the snow. The halflings are more than happy to have guests. Guests that aren't about to kill them, at least. That they know of.
Peeps probably running around just in wonder, looking at everything.
There's
Probably
lots to
similar
look
to
at.
Kids.
Yeah. Something that you would all probably notice, just in general, but probably not right away, is there's nothing in the way of town guard. I mentioned there's no walls. There's nothing in the way of town guard either. And there is sign of the very distant... Yeah, actually, it would even be with you, Poetry. The kid would lead you to a house and be like, that's where I used to live, and it's like a house that's at the very edge of town that's like kind of... The side has been opened up by something at some point. So you do get a bit of that Oracle Child thing, but they don't explain it.
Okay.
So
They're not gonna be like, you're the chosen one. No.
You were chosen by the child to be shown around the
That
town,
is true,
as
yeah.
happens.
After helping with the cart for a little while, I'll go to the tavern and sit down and just start drinking and try to make some fast friends with playing cards and drinking and see what kind of what I can learn about this town.
Yeah, is there anything, because you automatically make fast friends, right? With your
Right.
ability and being the kind of people that these winter halflings really enjoy. Is there anything you kind of want to ask about in particular?
Just is there any like local troubles? Anybody, any kind of sickness? Any kind of anything that they're worried about or on the horizon that they're concerned about?
So what you learn over a bit of time drinking and talking with folk is that right now everything's great. They are booming. During the occupation of Ophemfur, they had to pay quite heavy tithes of largely ale to the hobgoblins and also ogres. They've had a lot of trouble with ogres. The ogres were basically kind of pushed to attack them by the hobgoblins. They all knew this. They just couldn't really defend themselves against like organized armies like that, so they just kind of accepted it. That's why they have so much to give now, because for the last 10 years, they've been baking enough to also feed whoever occupies the country. That's why they're largely very happy now. There's nothing like that. It's not even like here's a monster to fight. No, there's no monsters. They say if there are ogres, they've gone away back into the mountains and hills. They do say that a lot of people were lost. The ogres would kidnap people, and sometimes they were eaten. Sometimes they don't know what happened. But they did lose a lot of people. But right now they're thriving. So they're largely happy, and enjoy their time in memoriam to the few of them that were lost. Probably 24 or so. Not a huge amount considering the country at war, but still. They would know the name of everyone and tell you, because that's the kind of honoring that they do.
Vincent would sit and listen to every one of them.
As you're sitting there, that's when feasting food starts to arrive on tables that are pushed together, because this is very much, this is a halfling village. Everyone has like enough room to eat in their own house, but this is a bit of an event, and probably mostly for celebrations. And they push these tables together, and there are some tables and chairs gotten from people's houses as well and added. So not all of the chairs look the same, and some are bigger than others. And they try and get some chairs that are big enough for the larger people, and they strap two stools together for poetry. I mean, not poetry. Snow. They're putting this together, all led by the mayor that you saw before, the older woman who's occasionally it's that kind of like coaxing, be like, don't you think you should go and remind so and so to go and get not yelling at people, just but also telling people exactly what they need to be doing.
I want to whenever the kid is done leading me around, I wanted to see how full is the cart when they're done.
It is pretty much exactly full to capacity.
Okay.
Of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Eyebrow wants to. Are there any shops or anything here?
Not really. This isn't really a shopping destination. It might become so if the roads are re-sorted and more people travel up here. It's like they would have travelers, like Northman travelers up here, and they're just like, maybe chop some wood for us and we'll give you a chicken dinner. It's that kind of place.
Okay. All right. Never mind then. He's just gonna go to the dining hall, sit down, whip out him sketchbook, and just doodle some people watching.
Yeah. People once thingy, they'll take off the armory of swords they've got on them and the chainmail and that, and set it. Probably not in the cart, because then you won't be able to get it out with all the food. But on a spot, thingy, where
hanging off the front of the cart or something.
Yeah. Sat in the driver's seat and thingy. Just wear the casual clothes. And go in.
Naked kobold.
No, he's not naked.
Which makes you more clothed than the average kobold.
This is true.
You do get the questions. everyone but Vincent get the question of what are you, because they're halflings and they have no chill. Like, they're very chill, but they also have no chill. And so there will be, at some point, when everyone's kind of sitting and drinking, there will be the sort of like, what are you? Like, there are questions of like, why, like, it's the why. They want to hear the stories,
Yeah. You're someone from outside of a small British town.
Yes!
Well, I'm,
So
I'm just a kobold.
I'm just a little guy.
I'm just a little guy.
Yeah, they are. There is kind of like a little bit of a, they've talking kobolds now!
They're not
Is that
barking.
weird? I thought all kobolds. I mean, I've not met another kobold, but like I thought we all could talk.
I had to deal with the occasional kobold before. They come trying to dig in under the parsnip farm.
Oh.
They didn't speak. They just went, yep. And I jabbed them with the end of my spear, and it went tail away. It did.
Oh.
Is he
It's halfling. I mean, halflings are universal. It turns out.
They're southern. I'm waiting for one to walk out with a banjo on his hip and
Well, you met the one with the banjo!
Yeah. They.
How long until we hear what, like, there's gonna be like an argument about them having weapons and guard, like, what am I gonna do when there's 30 to 50 feral kobolds entering the storehouse?
I have 100% figured this out. These are the Hicks of Letterkenny. I don't know if you've seen that show, but like they are the Hicks of Letterkenny, and it's wonderful.
Sabriel will explain to them in simple terms what he is and not elaborate unless requested to do so.
And a halfling with a pipe in him. So you're an elf? From the sun?
No,
No!
I don't.
That's what you
think
just said!
anyone-
Mary! He said he was from Sun. Now he says he's not from Sun.
Sabriel's
No.
going to draw them a diagram in his sketchbook.
And then slow about it and not being helpful at all, be like, it might be a translation error.
Another halfling will come up to Sabriel and be like, what kind of moisturization ritual do you have? Get your
He will
skin to
tell
look
him.
like that.
He will tell him.
Like, it's all kinds of just, there's always a question. But there's also
He
always,
will give him his extensive hair care routine too.
there's always a question, there's always a new bit of food being kind of served, all warm, be, pies of meat and pies of fruit, fresh breads, butters, goat cheese, quite a lot of very hearty food, soups as well. It's good. The mayor is pretty much at the head of the table, and you guys are pretty much next to him. And yeah, if there's nothing else you kind of want to specifically aim to talk to, eventually the celebrations will start winding down. As halflings get a little too drunk and a little too full and start tottering off home. There's still, a good few people in the hall. And it's still plenty warm, but it's a bit quieter. If you want to have your discussions with anyone or amongst yourselves, or call it quits for the day.
This is a wonderful place.
It's quaint.
Good.
Yeah, Snow meanwhile is like, Snow's like, it is a nice place, but I can barely fit through any doors.
I could see where that would be a problem.
In fact, like I'm assuming the only place I could probably fit into is the hall, because that is I'm assuming the hall is like a little more meant for visitors, like of human size.
It would be. You would be able to walk. So actually, it's one of those things. As you kind of are saying that, you're getting up from your chair. You feel your head kind of hit the ceiling where there's some banners, but it's not quite your head. When you kind of go up to touch, your horns have grown. Over the last couple of months, into the kind of first couple of branches of a set of antlers in icy blue. You haven't really like noticed, because why would you? You don't like look in mirrors or anything. But as you clonk them on something, you notice.
Yeah, so it's like he feels them, and he's like looks to the rest of the group or whoever is next to it. He's like, that's my. I don't know what you would call them. If you probably just call them horns, you'd be like, have they grown?
Yeah, they have.
Yeah, I mean, we don't notice that, because we're with you all the time. But yeah, they're bigger.
Never doesn't say anything.
We haven't grown.
Don't worry, Peep. I stopped growing a number of years ago.
Sabra just looks to the side, like, yeah, I stopped growing about 100 years or 800 years ago, probably.
Yeah, so it would be like he's thinking about how in the future, if they get big enough, you could use them as a weapon.
I mean, you kind of already can.
Yeah, it might hurt though. Yeah.
Anyone can headbutt, unless you don't have a head. Yeah, the only other person kind of still hanging around here is the mayor and a couple of other people who are more like hanging around like the doors, like they're having a smoke or a drink,
Oh, I'm gonna go over to the mayor and sit down across from her at the table. Like, it's a big long table, right?
Yeah.
Sit down across from her, put his arm down like this. I don't you can see. For an arm wrestle. Let's do
her to win.
Oh.
We're challenging.
I also am hoping that she wins, because it would be hilarious.
Can I give her guidance? Can I give her guidance?
Yes.
I want her to win, actually. That's why I'm doing it.
I will walk by and just say a little prayer under my breath as I pass by. Just kind of tap her on the shoulder again and cast enhance ability and give her enhance ability.
Yeah, and clearly Snow is doing it in good jest, like he's just like going over there with friendly way, but
Will, give me an athletics check.
She puts theirs just.
Well, I was
It cracks the table in half.
even before the magic, she takes off her fur cloak and she has guns. She's buff.
Buff halfling wife.
60-year-old buff halfling mare. She has advantage. She does not win.
She has the guidance.
Oh, well.
+4 or plus
plus
D4,
4,
rather.
yeah, plus D4. Yeah, it's closer. It's closer of about than it should be. And she actually seems a little like annoyed when she fails, but if the goddess were still in my arms, I would have given you a whooping, young man, even if you are so big.
I would enjoy seeing that.
He would give her a nod and be like, it'd be like, it was a hard-fought victory, but
She just kind of slouches back in her chair and picks up a mug.
Don't take
you gave. Sorry.
Go ahead.
You would say you gave me more resistance than the giant I arm wrestled.
Don't take a slight against it. Snow is tough as nails and twice as dense.
Joke's on his drink.
She laughs a bit and sips at her drink and will actually kind of look directly at Vince and be like, Enjoy it while you can. The boons the gods give are not eternal.
I plan on riding this outer coil into a blaze of glory long before that happens.
I sometimes wish I did the same. I mean, grandkids is alright though, I suppose. They're little shits.
That we can agree on. But they're little shits you can give back.
She just
Get
kind of...
children back. Sabriel sister thinks for a minute, like, you can't
To
give
their
them
parents,
back.
Sabriel. You can give the grandchildren back to their parents.
Oh. Yes, I suppose that makes sense.
Sabriel's just over here thinking that Vince is giving kids away left and right. Here, have a
That's why-
child. This one's yours.
That's why you had to leave Northenden. Vincent the Child
I
Snatcher.
have the highest opinion of humans, okay?
Mobile adoption center.
Surprise adoption.
Like, at this point, he would be surprised if Vincent just whipped a baby out of his bag and handed it off to someone.
What? Grim would be surprised.
Grim would be the one in the bag with the baby, let's be honest.
Grim is the Child Snatcher.
He's got 2 children, one named Billy and one named Mandy.
God's sake. At this point, Peep's just like rolling the stone in their hand, just like sat.
Sabriel's gonna ask the group something. He doesn't really care if the mayor hears it.
Okay.
Mainly because she has no idea what the fuck's going on anyway.
No, she is Jarl Bolgruff right now, like sitting at the end of the table listening, but not necessarily understanding a damn thing.
Also, look at her.
She's like entirely blanket. She is a halfling
likes-
child right now.
She loves that blanket. So after we return back to the place, sorry, forgetting what it's called. I have to return home to deal with this ringed business with the giant stone pastry. Are you intending on continuing to deal with this situation or not? Because if you are, then you can come with me while I go get information on this giant stone donut. He's looking at Peep mainly. He wants to take Peep with him, but he doesn't want to outright say
I mean, I don't really have anything else going on, so
he wants his adopted kobold son.
I think we work really well together, and any more chance for glory, I am there. So, onward.
And
Snow
mentally,
just-
he's
So just
Glory.
nods, yeah.
There's someone. Ollie, remind me. There's someone like Snow at home, correct?
Yes,
lady.
but I don't think you would have interacted much. But there is a giant blood in.
But he knows she's there. He just doesn't
Yeah.
interact with her. There's someone like you there, tall one that you might be able to speak with, learn things.
I have never been among many other elves, even though that is also my heritage.
Well, my kind of elf are much different to every other elf, anyhow. So
The elves I am from, well, they abandoned me when they saw how I am. And
well, I can see it. Yes.
Oh. Oh, no, so it'd be like, hopefully.
So I was like, I'm unsurprised, but okay, go on.
So I would just ignore it. You'd be like, yeah.
He's not being an ass. He's just
No,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, it makes sense.
So it'd be like, hopefully your elves would be more accepting than the kind I was born into.
You have a use, so I don't think they're going to entirely kick you out, but you all still look like a giant. So just be wary. My friends that are... He just motions ambiguously to the room. He's like, they've grown used to your presence, but they do not like you.
As you all were saying before about that book of fire magic, sometimes things, even if they might be associated with evil, need not be evil themselves.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm just giving forewarning.
And he nods.
Though Cal Ravel will probably be very interested in you. And you, he points at Pete. More interested in you.
How come?
You're interesting in a different way. I didn't truly really know what you were when you showed up. I thought you were a strange, scaled talking dog of sorts, but Sabrel's just like, ah, fuck it.
He's like, well, I'm not a little talking dog. I am. He's gonna take up like a heroic pose, like on the
Johnny
seat.
Bravo pose.
Yeah, it's like, I am a dragon in training.
Sabrel, that's right. Sabrel was gonna do the thing. Yes, you are.
What was Sabrel gonna do?
Nothing.
It's future plans.
Future
Is
plans,
Ori remembering
Sabrel.
that Ori has plans? That's
Ori
what that
remembering
moment
Ori
was.
is- Ori remembering Ori is scheming to do something nice for Peep.
It's when you're sort of talking about this, you know, the Mare has been listening, and she does say, like, with the drink, which she would at this point kind of refill her mug with like a flask of like dark liquor, and kind of offer it a little bit of it to anyone else who wants it. That's the noise.
Sorry.
You're heading back. You're going to deal with some kind of calamity, I assume. When a group of individuals enters a halfling town as colorful as you, they're dealing with a problem.
I'm always dealing with a problem, but yes.
Aren't we all? Have you talked to the Stone Guard?
The what? Why does
Those
this water taste like whiskey?
who, you know, this country used to be filled with Northmen, and when the country got taken over by hobgoblins, many of those who could fight, and who maybe didn't have so many ties to family, they went underground, like literally under the ground. This whole region is littered with barrows made by giants, and they fought from those places. They call themselves the Stone Guard, and they're still around. If you ever needed an organized Northman militia, they would be the kind of people to talk to. They've got an ear to the witches. And they're bear gods. I assisted them occasionally. But more before. Before they took that name and before everything.
I will keep that in mind.
After that, Snow would look at the mayor and say, you say that you seem to imply that you're dealing with problems too. Is there anything that we could help out with in our brief time here?
We don't have problems that are made up of monsters or things that can fight. We are just moving forward, as all people are. My problems are more my own, or require. Well, if I knew what it required, they wouldn't be problems. You
Snow would just nod.
need not try your blade as adventurers here.
I was really hoping we could get a side quest on the side quest.
Oh, you often can.
Sabro is like focused right now. He's like, no more side quests, goddammit. We already found a dragon that I owe a painting to.
And Vincent owes Goldie. Man, we have a lot of debt in this this group.
We come here to roleplay and live lives we never could.
Yeah.
Now Vincent owes a debt to the state.
So hold on, that only leaves Snow and
Just
Pete
like
are the
real
ones
life.
who don't owe.
Well, we can
Sabro's gonna ask the lady if there's any like teas or anything that he can buy or take home.
Tea.
Like tea.
Like
tea.
you want to put the leaves in the hot water and drink it kind of tea. I mean,
What other kind of tea is there?
sure, if you want some feed for a sick pig, but don't much do that kind of thing for hard cups.
Okay. He's not gonna press it. He's just like, you know what? I should see if they have some tea.
Because that's just Ori coming out.
It is, but it's also Sabro. We've canonically said the void is like his blood is like 50%
His blood
tea.
is tea.
So then it's settled. We get this stuff back and then head back to your home. Yes.
Yes, I wish to retrieve my horse and check on my. What is the plural for spouses? Is it spice?
I think it's just spouse.
It's just spouses, but
It's spoosing.
Spoofed.
Many of them.
Smooth.
I like Spooks though.
Many a much
I thought the
spoosing.
spooce. This is what has stopped me from being full polyamorous to grammar. Gets in the way.
Leave me alone.
Common's not his first language.
It's really not.
It's much more elegant in Sun Elven to describe your polyamorous relationship.
He speaks Celestial. Common is a vulgar tongue to him. The only reason he knows Common is because his wife.
It's true.
He is illiterate. He's really not. But yeah, no, he's like, I want to go check on my wife and my husband and my babies and my
And your
horse
friend,
and my boyfriend,
the dumbass.
the dumbass.
Anything else you want to do here, or do you want to like sleep here before you head out in the morning, or what's the kind of plan? They don't really have rooms. You just sleep in this hall.
In the
You know,
hall.
they close the doors.
Yeah, it'd be better than fighting back out into the cold and sleeping out
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Yep, I say we just lie down on the floor and sleep it out.
There would be blankets and all that sort of thing. Very hearty things made of thick wool, and occasionally like the hide of like probably the nicest blanket is made of yeti hide, you know, and then you can get a good rest here after a good meal, which means in the coming morning you are refreshed and energized to head out. But we will do that after a quick little breaky brew. So we'll be back in a few minutes. Ah! Hello! Welcome back. I imagine, unless there's anything you really want to do, you'll be leaving Winterbuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You are full-bellied, full-spirited.
I do have a question. There is no way we're going to be able to bring the cart back over the water the way we did before.
Yes.
So, are we going to have to go around to like where there's a bridge? A different route?
There is a bridge.
Okay.
Would you be asked, like, you could maybe get some of this information from the halflings, but there is a bridge. Openfur during the winter, it is easier to cross the channel. So if you actually go further up water, if you go further east, the channel should be more frozen. You should be able to get it across. But even then, you're going like, essentially, then you're just going up and down a valley, which is very difficult. But that's how a lot of people, escaped Openfur during the immolation, because during winter, but there is a bridge. The bridge is in front of the ruins of Ardenbor, a burnt-down city, and it should still be fine. There's kind of questions about who controls it right now, because obviously that's how they conquered the country. The only reliable place of entry, other than boats, and a culture that is scared of water, the Northman. So,
where is Grim, by the way? That's a good question.
You are getting ready to leave, and Grim is curled up like a cat where you were camping. No, Grim is just with you. Yeah.
Yeah, did the halflings, were they weirded out by him, or...?
They were more distracted by Goldie. Yeah, Grim looks like an edgy adventurer right now, because he's got a mask on and, full cloak and stuff.
He's got Sabriel's clothes on, too, so it's...
Yeah, he looks like one of those humans that wants to be an elf. Weeps. And... Goldie has been gathering more attention, because Goldie is more visibly weird right now. Though probably Goldie is less weird than Grim. But Grim was there all last night. But, they're your NPCs. They are grayed out in the background until necessary. That's why I don't have them joining every fight. It's like, if you have a problem, you can solve with them. Like during the great fording of the river instant 2021, then they're more useful. But otherwise they are essentially inventory items hanging around. Or if I have a joke, then they have something to say. But I didn't think of any jokes for Grimwald. Yeah, basically. So Grim is with you, Goldie is with you. You did when you asked about tinkerers, they did tell you that you could go to the Gnomish Lighthouse, which is not down the road you went. At least the way they told you to go. It would be following the coast. I don't know if you want to take that route, or if you want to take the route that you just went down. That would be the fastest way back. I don't know if how much you want to get Goldie tinkered with.
I mean, we could probably find someone further south rather than going more out.
You're so as your main goal right now is to return to High Thundrol. Thundrol has tinkerers.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know if you'll be able to find the appropriate gnomish tinkerer. That will take more time. But Thundrol as a country has any country has any city of a certain size technology level will have tinkerers. Not every single tinkerer is making clockwork automatons, but tinkerers exist.
Voice that then. Paraphrase Sabriel voicing that here.
Okay.
So what is our best option for our best option is to go our way towards your home with the robot?
We'll probably find more experienced tinkerers that direction, but
Let's do
as
that.
far as getting back over the river, Snow would suggest we go to the bridge part.
I am not a robot. I am an officer of the law.
Robot officer of the law.
That was all. Goldie wanted to interject. Luckily, crossing the bridge.
Yes, dear.
Crossing the bridge or going across the valley or going across the sea is kind of a question for later as well, because you can decide whether you want to just go east another day. Right? That's kind of up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was.
Let's take the fastest route back home. I mean, back to where we're taking the stuff and drop it off, and we'll figure out from there where to go.
I do need to retrieve Mr. Stark.
Yeah.
Okay. You can start trekking off back down, traveling south through Oakenfur, leaving the warmth and comfort of Winterbuck behind, and heading forwards into the snows. It's, again, kind of peaceful, kind of pristine. Due to the weather, it's very dark, there's a lot of cloud, and not even the kind of, you know, sometimes on a very snowy day, the cloud is almost lets a lot of sun through. No, this is a very dark, cloudy day. Areas of the land are just shrouded in darkness. And as you are traveling through this big forest on Oakenfur with these big trees with all the symbolism and stuff on, it's a little unnerving. With the gloom, are you traveling with a torch or lantern out, or are you just fine to go by eye?
I'll have a lantern out.
Okay.
You can see, so.
Yeah, I guess
Well, you can see 60 feet in far away. It's dark vision isn't super. Well, you know, actually, on a cloudy, overcast day like this, dark vision just means you can see normally. Yes, that actually is useful. With that in mind, can anyone who is kind of keeping watch give me perception checks? And I will actually include the bones and gears over here.
That sounds like a metal band.
I will. There is definitely a name for this pair of Grimwald and Goldie that will satisfy me. That isn't it yet, but you know, we'll come back.
Goldie and Grim.
Goldie and Grim is pretty good. Goldie and Grim is pretty good. Oh, Grimwald Honey. Grimwald Honey -2 perception. Grim Honey. Grim. I need to see what Goldie's reaction is first before I say what's happening while you're traveling through the forest.
Oh no!
Jesus Christ!
I have a +5, and I just rolled like shit. Goldwald.
They do not have a
Grimmy.
Oh, no, this character sheet is fucked. There we go. This should be a bit better. Oh, it's not. Oh no, it's fine. I'll just have to fudge it later. Oh, hey, I was homebrewing here. I did a thing with Goldie's character sheet, so it was a little bit easier to use, and it made it way worse in every way. It's basically...
I think you turned dynamic lighting on the map, because I can only see 5 feet in front of me on the map now.
Yeah, dynamic lighting's on.
No, it's not on. You want to reload Roll20? It's not on.
Yeah, sometimes Roll20 bugs out.
That's it's probably me fiddling with the sheets to affect it.
Oh yeah, now it's normal. Okay.
Oh, Goldie.
Yeah, that's weird.
So as you are traveling down a road through this area of forest, again, there isn't really a road. There's a little bit more as you're leaving Winterbuck, right? Because for a little bit of time, the halflings use that path. But actually, as you're leaving Winterbuck, you see kind of a different route that they use into the forest. You can kind of see, you know, bee houses and tapped trees for sap and syrup and stuff like that. But so once you get a bit further out, it's like, okay, there was a road here. Maybe dating back before anyone else was here. It's not very useful as a road, but you're traveling across. And Grimwald and Goldie are at the back of the group, trudging through the snow, because you've got the two horses and you've got the wagon, and they're behind them both. And Grimwald is kind of like looking at Goldie and is like, I don't like you. And Goldie looks like they're about to respond, but then suddenly like snaps the halberd off their back and points at the forest. And just kind of tracks something for a bit. And Peep, you have... You can hear a whispering on the wind. From within the forest. Hard to hear. You can kind of hear it bouncing off the curvature of the trees. But a whispering. Not quite... It kind of is of... You're getting almost more the emotion of it, but it's kind of like accented a bit like your mother's voice. In tone, in accent.
Does it sound like her, or is it just like...
Just
similar?
reminds you of. It isn't like her voice coming through the trees, but it's like that kind of voice.
Peep is immediately gonna like just burst out of Sabriel's cloak and jump off the horse.
He's gonna try and grab
like a chest burster. Just
you can have a contested athletics, acrobatics, grapple check as Sabriel's trying to grab Peep as Peep
he's trying to catch him. Just be like, wait. What am I doing?
Athletics or acrobatics?
Where's my acrobatics? Oh, athletics.
A.
Yeah, they were. I can't spell.
You try and catch Peep. Peep is already gone and in the snow and sword out.
Snow would be like, still would be like, Peep, what is it?
It's like a voice. It's like Peep's kind of like turning. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but I can hear it.
Peep, we don't run towards strange voices in the forest.
I'm just like, I'm not running off the road. I'm just staying, after last time, following someone. I'm staying on the road nearby. I've just jumped off with sword out. Can you guys hear it?
Now that we're listening, can we hear it?
You can be, nah. I'm just gonna straighten up nah. But Peep, you do kind of hear it a little more. And you do hear, it's again, the words are kind of vague, but it's beckoning. You can't tell if it's beckoning for help or, but there's this whispering beckoning on the wind. And, this would be when, I need to check your rolls again. Sabriel, you kind of can see, you see motion in the forest of what looks like a hooded lantern with the hood down. Like it's just a small amount of light that's barely contained in a lantern, or someone's thrown a shroud over a lantern or something. That's what it looks like, and it's like maybe two things carrying these shrouded lanterns. You just see the glimmer of firelight.
Are we getting bad vibes off of this, or?
I don't know, Ori. Are you?
Snow is going to watch Peep, and if Peep runs after it, Snow will run behind Peep, but otherwise he's just watching.
Vincent swings his shield around on his arm just to be prepared in case.
Can I cast Detect Magic?
You can cast whatever you want. Well, and it's one that you have. It's one that you have, and have the spell slots to cast.
I do have a spell. I
know. I just realized, as I said, you can cast whatever you want, that someone would use it against me. Yeah, no, you cast Detect Magic.
Yeah. He's gonna do that.
Go ahead and click it, because I need to look at, the ranges and shit. Within 30 feet, which only really goes to the first line of trees, and the lanterns you see are way, like 120 feet away, at least.
Okay.
You know, the only magic you see is Grimwald.
What about Goldie? Does Goldie have any magic?
Goldie is unmagical. Goldie is a
Okay.
machine.
Just all clockwork.
Yeah.
Excuse you, Goldie is magical.
Enchanting.
Disney Imagineering.
Do the lights look like they're getting any closer to us?
They look like they're moving, but not necessarily closer. They're definitely moving.
Are they following us?
You aren't moving right now. You are still.
So they're moving kind of parallel to us.
They're just kind of like you can see that they're moving, but it's unclear if they're coming closer or following parallel through the trees. It's just sometimes, the way that light kind of ebbs in and out suggests that they're moving, maybe almost in a circular-ish abstract pattern.
Peep, why are you running? But
Peep's staying still. Peep's not running a horse.
No. Why did you? No, he's meaning more leaping off the horse and then.
Oh, I wanted to be ready in case something happened. I mean,
What are you hearing?
it's like a, I don't know. It's like a voice. It sounds like it's wanting to come closer, but I don't know if it's to help or if it wants, to hurt us. I don't know. I think it's coming from them, and I point out the lights. I don't know. The voice is kind of coming from everywhere.
Is there anything Sabro can think of, like magic-wise or creature-wise, that might have an ability to sound like it's coming from everywhere to just one person?
Religion or arcana or history or...
Okay. They're all the same.
But what you roll is very important here.
Just gonna do history.
There are many creatures that can do many things.
Vincent is going to flash a sheen of silver over his eyes and use his divine sense. Is there any celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet?
Within 60 feet?
Yes.
When you see those... Because at this point you'd be staying still long enough that even you are starting to see that little kind of shrouded lantern light, because everyone's looking in the same direction. When it seems to ebb closer, you feel the tingling of undeath. But not a foul undeath.
I said swing my star.
More just more spiritual.
So I don't get the feeling that it doesn't seem malicious towards us.
It doesn't feel like the same kind of undeath you would feel from a skeleton or a zombie. The intent, is too much to call from, but definitely more of a spiritual kind of undeath. Less a something raised by necromancy. More kind of just something of the forest or the land or something.
The source of light is something in the realm of the undead. It doesn't immediately seem malicious towards us, although I am unsure how long that will last. If we ignore it, it may go away. It may wait for its opportunity to attack.
We should probably keep moving. Deal with it if it comes closer. I don't fancy the idea of close combat in the middle of a forest.
Yeah.
Especially with such a creature.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was saying, just especially with such a creature.
Snow would kind of nod in agreement to moving forward. Still watching Peep to make sure Peep doesn't run off ahead.
Yeah, Peep, when a dog feels things off and you have to kind of pull them away. There's Peep's kind of doing that to himself, where he's
Several just picks him up.
Yeah, just back on the horse. Just gripping onto that stone tight, and just with even like as we start moving past, just watching where the light's coming from the entire time.
You keep on down the road. Same pace.
I'm gonna do my best to sort of try to keep the shield interposed between myself and the creature, just presenting my holy symbol at any given time towards direction, just in case. But like not in a. It's more of a defensive manner than an offensive manner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I guess we could go at a normal pace, just watching it.
Yeah.
You keep on traveling. The forest changes in density and the layout of the plants and things. You do sometimes see the look of shrouded lanterns deep in the forest, following along with you, bobbing as if being carried by a large creature, perhaps. Or upon the head of a halfling doing a jaunty jig. Impossible to tell so far away. Near the end of the day, you actually have got a much better pace. You could camp a lot earlier and camp in the little cave you found, Goldie, or you could keep going for another 2 or 3 hours and make it past a forested area, leave perhaps, see if whatever is following you leaves the forest, but you would have a much less defensible place to camp.
Cyril would vote on the side of the cave.
Yeah.
Yeah. As
Okay.
much as I want to get back.
Cave it is.
Cave
Yeah.
it is. Who
Cyril's
is
too careful to.
Who is first watch?
Oh, I have a watch order somewhere in my notes. Let me look it up. Okay. No, that's not it. Where is
Cyril
it?
can
Okay.
take the last half because
Hmm.
he's elf.
Yeah, so what I have from the last time we had a watch was Vince and then Snow and then Sabriel for the last 2 segments.
And Peep
of 2
just gets a
hours,
big
or
sleep.
4 hours in total. Yeah, so I mean I'm fine with that.
Pete's
Okay,
pretty. Pete's pretty. He needs his beauty rest. They need a beauty rest.
give me a perception roll, Vincent.
Oh no, have I doomed Vincent with my note keeping?
Nice.
Note keeping is always a force for evil.
It really is this time.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm gonna give my
That the divine sense, you just put a block of silver over your eyes. Like, guys,
Guys,
or
where did
maybe
you
he's just
go?
exhausted. He's exhausted from the partying from the night before. So he
still
he falls
hungover
asleep.
24 hours later. We've all been there.
Hey, he's like close to 60 here, so I mean that's very realistic, honestly.
Just nod off.
You know, you're doing your watch, listening to the trickle of snow melt outside the cavern, the kind of repeating clicking that comes from Goldie even when Goldie is at rest. Maybe playing some solitaire to yourself, which I imagine Vincent does. You hear the soft, gentle call out of a female voice. Again, it's like you're in a dream. The words and messages are vague, but before you even realize, Vincent, you find yourself, walking out of the mouth of the cave. And as you do, little wisps of light, almost a cloud of them, will come around your being, around your gauntlets, around your greaves, and will then feel a sharp shock, like a nerve pain.
Oh, no.
And you are going to take 6 lightning damage. It's kind of up to you how you react to this. There's kind of two clouds of wisps.
Does that shock me out of it?
Yeah. It shocks you out of your kind of trance they put you in, almost.
Okay. Then I will raise my shield and take the dodge action and back into the cave with my shield raised and just start calling out for the rest of the party. It has made its presence known. It is malicious. It is trying to eat me. Wake up. Help.
At that point,
It's angry. Also angry.
The voice goes from like a gentle to just like a louder laughing, but it's, you know, the laughter of many small voices kind of coming together as you are going to be attacked by a pair of will-o-wisp clouds. I accidentally copy-pasted an entire building into the map. That's not what I wanted.
The warehouse. Oh no.
The warehouse.
We're in the middle of a forest and suddenly there's a building. It's Bethesda. Clipping into the tree.
The level designer just didn't give a fuck. It's like, here's the dungeon. One sec.
Welcome to the Forest of the Elves. You see before you the outline of an IKEA. What do you do?
I'll go in, whatever you do, you'll never leave.
I foraged the
That was the
IKEA for
whole-
sweet meatballs.
That was the home of the Goblin King. David Bowie reigns over it all.
I didn't
We
know
shall
that
raid
IKEA
it for
was...
Blahaj and Dungelskog.
Of course you'd make a Blahaj reference. Go ahead and roll for me initiatives.
Okay.
Now remember that those enemies within your camp are your friends. Your skeleton and robot friends.
I guess
So I haven't made their tokens
Besides
yet.
Vincent,
Take my token.
You are
Vincent,
waking up for your first turn, yeah.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have armor on, which for me is not a problem, I guess, but
Everyone else would never armor on. Sabriel, I don't know if Sabriel rests in their armor. That's kind of up to you. Because you don't really sleep.
Probably does when he's traveling.
Yeah. He's an old elf. He's uncomfortable all the time anyway.
Yeah, he's just in pain constantly.
Oh no.
And those NPCs are not currently activated.
Is that Goldie's theme song?
No,
I like
Goldie's
the
theme
idea of more
song.
Thunderbirds. That's how you move. The old puppets.
Sabriel, it's your turn first, but you're gonna spend your turn, waking up from your trance and standing and readying your weapon, I suppose. So,
Yeah.
and the same much for Peep. You are naked, well,
Yes.
unarmored, and that's when the wisps increase their giggling and sounds, and will encroach further. They'll loop around Vincent. And they will attack again. Vincent, what is your armor class? It's not hitting it, but what is it? You're muted.
18.
Well, it got an 8. So it's only 10 lower. So I think it might be able to get it next time, maybe. Yeah, no. At this moment, Vincent, you're just surrounded by them, and they're just kind of like laughing and growling, and occasionally there's, it's more emotions of hatred and jealousy and envy kind of flow from the cloud of wisps that are surrounding you. Sometimes they do kind of like get close and kind of phase through your armor a little bit, but you're getting into more of a defensive position. They're not actually harming you right now. It's your turn.
I will use my interact and draw my long sword and slash out at each of them with my 2 attacks. And
the first attack is going to be a miss against the wisp. Second one is going to be a hit, but of course, steel weapon against a undead ethereal entity. It strikes through some. It makes the light kind of glow dim, but good, strong hits.
can I pump a smite into that?
Oh yes, yes you can.
I will use a 2nd level spell slot and pump a smite into that.
That's excellent. Yeah, 14 points of damage on the wisp is much stronger. You know, you can put in your holy, energies to put these creatures back to rest. You know, the spirits of whatever exactly the wisps are, and that very much works. You see that the wisps kind of almost drop as if they're returning to the earth or the undead realms.
And I'll just call out, normal weapon swings have no effects on these creatures.
Excellent. And man, you guys are all really bad on initiative. Which is actually always the case.
Yeah. Oh, I rolled really, really bad.
Real quick for the few raiders that came up, I actually have alerts, but they're not really working right now. This is a Jarviskjir. It's homebrew D&D 5e universe. If you like a lot of roleplay and world building, hell yeah, feel free to join. Snow, you're up next. You are waking up largely this turn.
Yep.
From your slumber as the wisps attacked you during the night. Sabriel, at this point, you're up, you're ready, you're down to clown. Vincent is surrounded by these things, but actually holding his own against a cloud of undead wisps.
Sabriel's gonna do a couple of things. He's gonna cast magic weapon on his sword.
Hell yeah. Undervalued spell.
Well, I also get extra damage via my class stuff too, so
Yeah.
Sabriel's about to hopefully do something. He's gonna strike at the one behind Vincent. He's gonna
Yeah.
hold on. Screen. Stop it. 5, 10. There.
And I imagine casting magic weapon is very much,
That's a
your flamberge blade
Yep.
is glowing with sunlight as it does.
as
We know
it
what it's
always
like.
does.
Yeah. You have advantage. So please go ahead and re-roll that. With flanking.
Yeah.
Vincent.
Oh yeah. Also, there's also a +1 to that too. So,
Yeah, that's fine. So go ahead and re-roll it. We'll look at the next result. That's
24.
excellent. Yeah. And
6 slashing, magical, and
Plus-
4 radiant.
4 radiant from your flashblade. Yeah, you can get up behind the kind of cloud, which is very focused on Vincent. This isn't even like they're invading your camp, and no, they're fucking with Vincent specifically. So you could kind of step up behind, make a few strikes gracefully with your elven poise, and the undead are just simply banished from this plane with a flash of sunlight.
That's it.
Peep.
All right, let's get moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. He's running in, great sword in hand, and just gonna go for swing, swing.
Which of course you can do
1,
now.
And 2.
Unfortunately, both strikes are misses, because as you get up close, this is, a cloud of fast-moving wisps. It's like trying to attack a swarm of bees.
They both have advantage because pack tactics. I'm
Go and
dumb.
reroll. Yeah. That second strike is going to be a hit. So it's like you go up and start swinging, and it's just this cloud of fast-moving wisps, and sometimes in a moment, maybe there's a face, but you do manage to kind of strike one of them with that second blow, and it goes through, and the wisp dies down in color a little bit, but it's only a kind of very weak glancing strike. And in retaliation to that, the wisp cloud is going to turn invisible. You can all still hear it. You can hear giggling, taunting, moving, kind of sparks against your skin or scales. They have not completely gone, but they are unseeable right now as they are prowling around. And in fact, they are going to make an attack against Peep. After the fact, you kind of feel like a rush. That feeling of someone standing on your grave, right? You kind of almost feel that behind you. It kind of makes you turn around, and that's when you are going to be attacked.
Can I invoke disadvantage on that with my reaction?
Yes, you can see Peep kind of clearly being, attacked
I know
by
that
this
feels
invisible
like.
thing. Yeah. Unfortunately, this enemy can't hit for shit either way, so it's going to be a miss. It's one of those as we throw the shield in the way, and there's the divine symbol upon your shield. You haven't yet switched out for the dragon scale, but that seems to... You almost hear kind of the recoiling of from the holy symbol. Vincent, you're up next. You don't know where the wisp cloud is. You know it's attacking Peep. It's probably not within your sword's reach.
Let's see here. If I if I hit divine sense, would I get a better? No, probably not. I was wondering if I would get a better.
I would allow
understanding.
it. I would allow it to you to use. Is it an action to use divine sense?
It is an action to use divine sense.
I would allow you to use that to kind of give the other characters more an idea of where they are.
Okay, then I'll use my action to do that. Yeah.
With this creature specifically, it makes sense. You can sense them up behind Peep. You still can't see them. It'll still be difficult to attack them. Can you see that? No.
Peep behind you.
Because that space particularly was where the wisp... Oh, you still have disadvantage to attack them because you can't see them, but they are behind Peep.
Then I will move up to here to be next to Peep. And against the creature.
Snow, you're up next.
Mm-hmm. So I'm already standing now, or okay. In that case, I'll go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then, I don't know, kind of squeeze in there and then move back if I like to. I guess
You can't attack while standing in another character space. You can push Vincent out of the way.
No, I'll just grab my only javelin now and just chuck it at that spot.
Give me a roll of a disadvantage. Surely throwing a javelin straight down into the rocky mouth of the cave won't harm the javelin.
Actually, you know what? I forgot. So multi-attack, it does apply for. I can do. If
you have another javelin.
I have a hand axe, so I'll do one javelin. It's my last hand axe. In my last.
I'm gonna
hand.
get back, and Snow's not gonna have any weapon.
All right. So first the javelin. And I'm
disadvantage.
Not raging, so
yep.
Oh yeah.
But you could reckless to even it out.
I think I can only do that on melee attacks.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So all right, javelin.
That's a miss.
And then hand axe. Nope. Probably.
You know, you wake up to all this chaos going on. You see these wisps just enough to see them kind of disappear. And you're just like, throw your weapons clatter off the stone ground.
Random bullshit, go!
It's very much that moment.
Alright, yeah, and then
Just a big angry man in his underwear coming yelling out of a cave with a hand axe and a javelin.
then I'll sit there. Yeah.
Sabriel.
Okay.
First of all, I'm picturing if this ever became a movie, Dwayne Johnson's playing Snow. Because I'm just picturing Dwayne Johnson waking up with his hand axe and a javelin screaming as
I could see it, yeah.
Sabriel is going to ask he's going to step up next to Peep. I'll move him in a second, but he's gonna make him friends appear. 25. He's gonna go right there.
I'm gonna use your
My
cleric
friends,
ability.
yeah.
Oh, did you do
I'm
that
gonna-
yourself? Nice.
Yeah.
Good. I don't have to do that anymore. That's great.
I my brain thought that I've been doing it this whole time. I don't know if I have been, but
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Who cares?
Brain cell.
Go ahead and click your ability as you're using it. By the way.
Yeah. He's going to summon his granddad. And everyone else's granddad.
All the ancestors.
Yeah. He's gonna, I guess, help everybody with the temp HP, so 3.
Yeah, on the start of your turn, you gain 3 temp HP if you're within that circle. Which, can anyone else see that? Have I got that set up right?
There's
I
a
can't
big
see
yellow
anything.
circle.
There we go. Should see it now.
I do not.
If you can't, there is literally no other buttons I can do to make you be able to.
I refresh and see.
As I clicked it, I think Ori also clicked it and it didn't work.
I
Should be able
didn't
to
do
see it now.
shit.
Well, I clicked the button and it didn't work.
Yeah, roll
Me
20.
no see.
Whatever, I can just tell you, Peep, you gain 3 temp HP at the start of your turn.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So this thing's, I know vaguely where it is.
Yes.
So it's disadvantage, but pack tactics, because we're close to it.
Gives you advantage. It evens
Neutralize
out. Yeah, it's neutral.
Yeah. Cool, nice. So 2 neutral swings. Let's go! Swish, swish.
Both are hits, actually. You can feel, it's not even resistance, it's almost the vibration through the blade. 'Cause it's not like you're striking something ethereal. Don't give me a look the second I say vibration. Because you're striking something ethereal, you kind of feel, you know, the cold touch through the steel. I have to do some maths.
I think that's 7 damage total.
Yeah. It's not enough to completely dissipate the wisp swarm in their invisibility. In fact, they are... But what you do feel is like you kind of swing and you get that strike and maybe you even go for another one because, you know, you're not just attacking 2 times in 6 seconds and then stopping, you know, it's all moving. You kind of suddenly feel that they're no longer within your presence. And at the start of their turn, they are going to take some damage from Sabriel's Circle of Ancients. And then they're going to make an attack against Vincent, which is going to hit. Where's my dice? For this, there we go. It is going to be 10 more lightning damage. Again, that feeling of just like shocks through your nerves. And then it's your turn again.
I will again use my action to use my divine sense. It's my last one of the day. So after this, I'm not gonna be able to see this thing anymore, feel this thing anymore. And then for my bonus action, I'm gonna reach out and kind of run my hand along Peep's blade and cast magic weapon on Peep's blade.
There we go. The Wisp Sworn is behind you. It's actually where it's above where that other defeated one is. So,
and I'll say, to my 9 o'clock.
Peep, can you read a clock?
Probably, maybe.
Snow,
say
can
yes.
you read a clock?
I don't know. Do they have clocks in the middle of the forest?
They would have sundials, but they wouldn't be very good in a forest. So probably
Fair.
not.
That's fair point.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm just
Gabriel's
teasing.
the
You would know
only
where
one
it is.
that-
Sorry, where you said it was here?
Yeah.
Okay. So then Snow. Okay, here's a question. I picked up the javelin and the hand axe, but would I have also been able to pick up the great sword, or do I have to run back and pick up the great sword?
You would have picked up your great sword, yeah.
Okay.
Your javelin
Okay.
and hand axe are now on the floor out of reach, but your great sword
Yeah.
you can have, yeah.
Yeah, so he'll like move over here and just try to hack at it with the great sword.
You have a disadvantage.
Yep.
Hmm.
You know,
But
I'll
you have
do
two
a
attacks.
reckless attack now. I'll do a reckless attack, which I think
Just when Vincent's within range. Very good.
yeah, doing so gives you advantage on. Yeah, so it applies to. I have to choose before I make any attacks, and then it applies to both of them.
Yes.
But then, yeah. All right, so reckless attack. Let's see if I can hit it. First attack.
That's a miss.
Second attack.
That is
Oh
also
my
a miss.
God.
You are swinging. The edge of your blade clangs against the metal of the cavern you're in and kind of makes the snow fall on Sabriel's head, actually, as the kind of roof of the cavern is disrupted. It's a reckless, dangerous mess, but you don't strike this ethereal, invisible wisp that is attacking your comrades.
Okay.
Sabriel.
Gabriel's gonna step up, and I still have magic weapon, I think, up.
Yes.
Because I forgot how long it lasts.
It's a neutral roll. Oh, a magic weapon lasts long enough. That's how long magic weapon lasts. Up to an hour.
Concentration up to an
Oh
hour.
wait! I fucked up.
Neutral.
Yeah, I meant to click it, and then
Like Sweden.
my brain did it, and I didn't.
That is very in character of you.
Mhm.
That is a miss.
An 18.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Peep.
Oh well.
Okay, I can't hit it from here, but if I go 5, 10, 15, 25, aha! And then, showing, +1 to these, because magic weapon. So, as a 7 and a 9.
You have an advantage, don't you?
No, because you can't see the target,
No,
so it's neutral.
Cancels
Yeah.
out.
I
Can't-
see.
You can't stack advantages, annoyingly.
As
Yep.
yeah, oh, it would be a fucking pain if you could.
Yeah.
It would suck if you could.
You have to,
I've done experiments with my own homebrew system.
Triple advantage.
100%.
It sucks.
You're like
having
triple advantage
stackable
with double
advantages,
disadvantage, and
disadvantages.
yeah.
Don't even.
Suddenly
as
you're
you
doing
are
more math at the table.
If you are swinging your blade, there is a noise, and you hear it, and you feel a coldness, and you see the warm stone leap out of your pocket
No,
and clatter
my
against
stone!
the stone of the cavern and start rolling away south, stage south.
No, my stone! I still have 5 feet of movement because you can
Uh-huh.
move, attack
Yep.
it. But yeah, I'm going after it.
You are going to be zapped by the wisps
no.
for
Worth it.
11 lightning damage as you leave.
5.
You feel your
five,
tail kind of like as if it's been slammed in a
Only-
door and it's all gone numb. And then
38 health.
the wisps are going to make another attack against Vincent. That's their
Fine,
primary
okay.
target.
No, my rock. My little rock.
It's not a boulder, it's a rock.
It's a rock.
There is going to be another strike against Vincent. Again, laughing, swift turling, moving. Wisps is going to be 6. I counted, and I considered the 6, and then in my brain, I just flipped the 6 upside down for a second. That's why I nearly said 9. But it's 6 lightning damage on Vincent.
Oh,
All
I'm
right.
afraid that was a peanut.
Vince.
Do I still feel the creature
Yeah,
near
they
me?
haven't moved. They haven't moved because you can kind of feel them as they swish and swoosh, and that feeling on your grave. It's still there.
I will take a swing at it.
Yep. Disadvantage because no flanking right now.
Right.
That is a miss. And second attack.
Yeah.
Oh, that 27 just gets
It would've
yeeted
been a
into the
crit.
void.
I know. That hurts.
Yeah.
So I'll just swing twice and then kind of get behind my shield and ready for wherever it's coming from next. And I'll hold my ground there.
Snow.
Alright, so I don't need to reckless now because I have a flanking.
Well, if you reckless, you would get. Well, not really. Yeah, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, because it
It'd be
would
cool.
Yeah, it would be cool, but okay, if I'll do reckless just so actually, no. Well,
You shouldn't have been that easy to convince.
well, no. Here's the thing: is that Vincent is getting hurt, and Snow can tank some hits. Snow is basically wants to draw.
You want a reckless to draw attention. I see. Yeah. I get that. I get that vibe.
So it makes sense. Even though it has no mechanical advantage, he will reckless because he actually wants to draw its attention. So he's going to leave himself open.
I like that.
Yeah. So here we go. Attack 1. Nope.
Miss.
Attack 2. Oh,
it's a hit. And you do feel it. You feel as again your blade. It doesn't reach a resistance. It just kind of gets colder, and you feel a sensation kind of through it that you kind of almost feel up your arm, and then you kind of almost feel the wisps starting to pull closer towards you. You feel that coldness moving closer. Okay. They haven't actually moved on the battle map yet, but they will if they get the chance. Sabrael.
Are they still in front of me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do I get flanking?
You get neutral. So yes, you get flanking, but you still can't see them, so it's neutral.
Boop. Oh no. Oh no.
Sabriel stabs Snow through
Also,
it.
are they still taking the damage from my granddad?
And that's how I got stabbed with a flamberge.
They are taking granddad damage. Yeah, that's definitely a you scratch Snow in the thighs roll. You're going, I stab, you're stabbing an invisible ghost. It's just a new, and Snow's reckless.
Do I need to take the 4 damage?
But, to be fair, you still have 1 temp HP left, so it's fine. That would have gone to your temp HP. So
that's fair.
We'll have to fiddle with the aura thing so it works properly. It should, but whatever. Roll 20 as it is. Peep.
I know how to fix it, if you can give me control of it later.
You should have control. But that's fine.
Where's my rock?
That's part of the problem. You're gonna need to spend your turn looking for your rock.
I will spend my turn looking for my rock.
Scrabbling on the floor with your little clawed kobold hands. Eventually, you find it. Snow took a step back and stood on it for a moment. You can kind of and get it and grab it.
Okay.
And feel the warmth of the smooth pebble within your hands. Snow, you feel a rush flow past you, and very weakly, for the wisps are at the end of their tether, but they will make an attack against you and hit, and you are going to take 10 lightning damage.
Okay. Sounds good.
At this point, Vincent, you have no idea exactly where they are. You kind of see that they've gone through Snow, because there's that kind of reaction, but where is unknowable, and you could stand through them, because they're so ethereal.
Okay, then I will, I'll use my action to heal myself for 10 with my lay on hands.
Hmm.
And then I will try to think if there's a way I can. I'll stay where I'm at. I'll just stay where I'm at. I'm good. That's all I'll do.
Snow, you could swing wildly in a circle if you wish.
Sure.
You might hit him.
Sure, I will swing wildly with a reckless attack. If I Letty won this, am I gonna hit Peep? Lop Peep's head off?
It's always possible. You would just yeah. It's always possible.
Alright.
That never happens.
I will reckless attack, which is normal, I guess.
Yes, it's neutral.
Still okay. And yeah, just swing one.
That's a miss.
Yeah. Swing two. Just don't natty one it. Ooh.
That's a hit! And as you are swinging recklessly, briefly appearing from out of the spirit realm, you see the kind of wisp cloud kind of move and shift, and everyone sees it for a moment before kind of seem to return to the stone and the earth all around. And kind of take a moment. Can't feel that ghostly presence among you anymore.
Snow would be like panting a little bit, from the exertion, but he would look down at Peep and be like, "What were you looking for during the fight, little one?"
This, and I called up the rock.
I
It came flying out of my pocket when we were fighting, and I don't want to lose it.
almost stepped on you.
Yeah,
Is anyone else hurt?
I'm a little zapped, but I'll be okay.
Yeah. Snow would be like, he would basically kind of motion away like he's fine. Like he's like, I'm hurt a little bit, but I should rest it off.
Bro's gonna turn to the ghosts and be like, go back to sleep. Just wave his hand.
The ethereal sunlight glow of the ancients.
Are my javelin and hand axe fucked?
You're gonna want to sharpen them when you go back to town.
Okay.
They're fine though.
Okay.
We're gonna get back and we're gonna encounter like a dire wolf or something on the way back, and it's gonna be that movie with Liam Neeson with the wolves and the glass bottle, and that's all
Yeah.
Snow's gonna have is a broken glass bottle versus a wolf.
Snow needs to get Tavern Brawler.
Oh god.
All
I
right.
mean, his dice would be bigger. He's a big boy.
Well, as long as everyone is not in dire need of healing that some rest will not fix, I am going to go back to mine. Savrel's like, I'm done. No, I'm going back to sleep.
Yeah, you do get the benefits of your long rest if you break for an hour, less than an hour, and return to it. It's fine. So you will be able to return to your rest and gain the benefits of such a rest. Okay. You are not assaulted by any ghosts during the rest of the night, so you might want to keep a more careful watch. And
My apologies. My eyes got heavy. That's on me. And then I was outside and being attacked. Not really sure how I got there. I think they lured me.
I mean, it's okay. It happens. I mean, I heard them calling before when we're on the roads. It sounded convincing, so we dealt with them. We're okay.
Yes, they were no real threat in the end.
Savrel's just sitting there quietly, like, I see dead people all the time. This is nothing new.
Okay. Come morning, you can return to your travels back. Let me check the weather. Now you know the route as well, you can travel a little bit faster just because you know what to expect, right? While you had snow as kind of a guide on a lot of your travels before, this is a slightly... It's different enough terrain, especially the way the land is under the snow. And the next couple of days are nothing but clear skies and wind, which you can travel really quickly in, which means you can, over the next 2 days, get across the rest of Ofinfer towards the coast, with Lendr in the distance. You can even see the Northman town, because of the clear skies and the clear situations, upon its hill. Across the water crossing, the channel that you passed to get here. Now, as I described before, you can take either the little channel route that you did before, or you can go a little bit further east and then take the frozen parts of the channel, because come the deepest parts of winter, that is all frozen. You know, any other parts of the channel further east than the parts you were at are just ice and coated ice. Still dangerous in some ways, but usually fine. Quite awkward for your wagon to traverse because of the rocks and the curves and stuff. Or you can add maybe a day to your travel time and start heading eastward and go to use the bridge. Even at a glance, you can tell that way will be on more traveled roads. So it will not be the same kind of outland tracking that you were doing so far.
Snow would suggest that we go to the bridge. As he looks at the icy water, but that the octopus was in.
Cyber would be good for either the bridge or the ice. He doesn't want to play Dukes of Ofinfer today with the wagon.
Yeah, definitely not going through the water. All the food starts floating out. And
That's why he's got the seeds on his horse.
Yeah.
Guess it is the safest way.
Okay.
I can provide myself and someone else with a little bit of a boon to their strength for this passage if we want to take this route.
Snow would be like, it's less about me and more about making sure the cart can make it across fine. The ice or the bridge would be easier for Krita here. He pats her on the side.
Understood. Let's take the road to the bridge.
Okay. So yeah,
Okay.
I guess we'll go to the bridge.
You know theoretically where this bridge is, right? It's one of those situations. As you are starting to travel, it is again more of a organized road. In fact, it looks like roads that were made relatively recently. As you're traveling, you even see a topped over stack of stone slates that were being used to pave the road. It's being paved in the way that you would a out of town trade route. You know, it's just big kind of slates laid down where it's kind of been dug out a little bit. But some effort has really been put into this. And as you get a little further in the day, around noon, you can see the bridge, and it's this big old stone bridge. It's nothing to the majesty of elves, or even as majestic as, like, a good bridge in a good city. But it is an old stone bridge of quite nice construction. It goes over this channel, which is not a small channel. And you can see at some point there have been, you know, other things built on the bridge, like watchtowers and things, but there's nothing like that. Now, what you do see is actually two things. You got the bridge going over the channel. Further north of that is this haunting echo of a city that is burnt to the ground. And it's covered in snow. It's not a recent burning. It was burned 8 years ago. But the bones of it are still there. And it's burnt, you know, it's 8 years ago. Plants have regrown, and actually now, right next to the road, right next to the bridge, there is a tavern. And it looks like it's still being built. In fact, it looks like the finishing touches are still being done. There is wooden scaffolding all set around, and the tavern has a freshly painted big sign that kind of faces the bridge in the way you're kind of approaching it, that says the Ardenboar Phoenix upon it. And it has it's a blue painted wood with a kind of filigree of a phoenix, a bit like a shield coat of arms on it. And as you approach, I think this is an excellent place to leave it for today's session.
Nice.
Alrighty.
What if
I
it's
don't trust it.
it's gonna be a kobold tavern full of kobolds?
No,
Oh my
this is
God.
gonna be some fey bullshit is what it's going to be.
Fey fuckery, as you
Yeah,
say.
it's not a real tavern. We're gonna get in there and it's just gonna be like
Well, it's all the
spiderwebs.
will o' the wisp friends.
We're gonna walk in. Ollie's gonna be like, "Surprise! It's a mimic."
Oh no.
I have to
The
do that
whole
trick
tavern.
once.
It's that gazebo.
I haven't done
thing
it. I
all
have to
over
do it
again.
once.
Yeah.
The dread gazebo.
What could be unwelcoming about the sign of a new tavern opening up in a uncontested territory? What could possibly be threatening about that?
Many things. Many things.
Someone randomly claiming land that isn't theirs, that can cause lots of trouble.
I'll arm wrestle
you
them for
begging?
dominance.
All right,
Whoever's
that's today's session. We should be back next week with more, and of course we are back on Wednesdays as well. Thanks, of course, to the subs and support and new people popping in. We're going to real quick talk about a little bit of our things going on right now. Let me turn off the slow, depressing Russian travel music and put something maybe a little bit lighter on. That was very much one of those soundtracks where sometimes in a Monday game, because it's got a lot of players, sometimes players are like, music's making me sleepy. I definitely get that vibe on that one. It's gentle, sleepy time music. But why don't we real quick talk about other things we've got going on, other projects, starting with Zach. What's up?
Well, right now, the big project is I just recently bought a house, so we are packing up and in the process of getting that stuff all ready to move out. And so we close on the house on the 31st of January, and then afterwards, I'm going to be looking to be casting my own little D&D stream. You can check me out at Next Level TTRPG on Twitter to look out for casting announcements. I've already started putting the bug in people's ear there, so come check me out.
Okay. I heartily recommend following him on Twitter if you don't, because just the other people you interact with and the stuff you're putting together is just fun to watch on Twitter. I've followed a lot of people that you hanging out with. So, poetry.
Yep. So I do a lot of variety streams. I also actually have my own D&D show that started recently on Sundays. We won't be playing tomorrow, but normally it's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's been a lot of fun so far. And other than that, I just stream a variety of games lately. I've been doing some Sekiro speed runs, and I got my time below an hour, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's about it.
I'll have to play that game soon and track my time. I just feel like do better than that.
I mean, my first playthrough was like 35 hours or something like that.
Yeah,
it's-
I'm
it's-
imagining it'll be like
Not an easy game.
Yeah, it's a great one.
To be fair,
That's why I
it's
haven't
like
played
a
it.
fancy-looking rhythm game.
I like it.
That's what I
like
want in
the
a
rhythm
combat
of
game.
this.
I want that.
I love it.
It's really nice, yeah.
But I also have arthritic hands, so maybe not yet. All right, Quill.
Yeah, it's me, the shit poster. I just post stuff on YouTube and make the funny videos, and depending on your point of view, either greatly improve or drastically degrade the quality of your Twitter experience. So,
Did your video hit 1 million views?
no, not yet. Let me see.
Okay. It's getting close though, right?
Kinda. It got hit with the YouTube thingy, age
It got
restriction and
bonked.
stuff. So
Oh
yeah, I
no.
got heavily kneecap. Like I watched the analytics, and it was getting like 2,000 views an hour, and it dropped to like 250. So
That was pretty cool though. I mean, it's still cool that it got
Yeah.
that much
Yeah.
traction. That was really good.
yeah, well, just fucking kill me then.
It's pretty good.
It's the Grimwald video. Yeah, that's all it was. Inspired by Grimwald. Very good.
So yeah, I posted a wholesome one today, a D&D.
It
focused one as well.
was. I could
Nice and
actually
wholesome.
add that to my timeline without worrying about my mother seeing the horny posting. Yes. Then again, my mother is my biggest fan of my pinups, so I guess I shouldn't worry about that. Speaking of pinups,
Yeah.
Ori,
I do those of my characters, not me. I'm not that confident in my own. It's me, the other shit poster. So together we're team shit post. It's like
Team
Rocket,
shit!
but worse. It's like Team Rocket, but worse. But yeah, I do the arts. I don't have commissions open at the moment. I will soon-ish. I just have, for once in the last 6 months, too many to do right now. Plus, I just got a contract work I've got to finish fleshing out. But yeah, I have a Lord of the Rings D&D show on my channel every other Sunday. We're playing next week. They just discovered their dwarf NPC was actually the werewolf of Mirkwood, so there's that trauma that I left on them last week. But yeah, other than that, go to my Twitter for shit posts, spicy elves, and other bullshit.
elf adjacents.
Elf adjacent. It's just all elves. It all goes down to elves. Elves are the root of everything on my
It's elves all
Twitter.
the way down. And there's me. This show is supported by Patreon. If you want to support this show, you can give a little bit of money a month. You get access to extra things, including versions of the homebrew projects we're doing on Fridays at the moment. We also have another show Wednesdays. We have Mind Over Matter, which is set in the Underrealm, currently somewhere else. A lot of interesting stuff with some very interesting characters. And we also have a Monday game, which is a Thieves Guild campaign in the city of Udar. Whole other part of the world. It's the most northernmost and the highest city in the world. Even higher than some of the cities that fly. So there's that involved. You should definitely check it out if you like this kind of thing, and your support means a whole bunch to me. We also are doing other stuff around, like we're probably doing Sunday shows when we're not on Mirkwood. So yeah, hang around for more. Join the Discord for more discussions about what happened here and what might happen in the future. All of that good stuff. But for now, we're going to leave you and we're going to say goodbye. And we're going to say thank you to Patreon supporters. So see you then.